Ameristar install, I have to load up our outdoor unit and get a few odds and ends from my small rack of flex over there, always diminishing it seems like. Got some of my metal pipe, some just bad insulation, and some randoms up there I have to take with me to the job. Today's focus is going to be finishing the equipment, maybe even getting it started up. Get that high voltage run into the cabinet. I have a 1-inch strain relief I picked up at Lowe's. I take this apart, put some splice on it. So we're going to get all that tied in. Then I'm going to run a wire down here, put a junction right here so we can get to all those thermostat wires. I have that all connected right there. I'm going to go over to our low voltage connections and run a wire down the side of the cabinet back here so I can tie everything into a box down here. My low voltage, I ran it down here. I put a little box right here so I can put it all together and seal it up. I still have a float switch, which I don't have with me. I have to probably bring back tomorrow, but it's going to hook through the reds here. I'm going to tie them together temporarily, stick them in here, then tie that float switch in when I get a chance. At the piston chart here on the Ameristar, I have M4HP 042 matched up with the 44 air handler. I look over here and I do not have to change the piston out, which is good. So that's a good news. This is the old piston chart. I'll probably keep this and make a copy of that for the website. I have the Ameristar sitting up on the pad here. There's our pertinent Ameristar information. 3.5 tons, there's our serial number. Put a bend on this copper with the Hillmore bender. Got the swager too, swaged them together. I'm about to bend the liquid line over and install my field supplied dryer. Got my two bins fitted up here. Got my spoiling dryer in place. Thermostat wire is damaged right there, so I'm going to have to splice onto it over there. I'll take the caps off here. I'm about to take the shraders out, wrap the valves and flow some nitrogen. Some nitrogen pressure on the system. Look how much nitrogen we have left in this bottle. Not a whole lot. I have to use 2 bottles. I run a contactor right here, single pole, a 15 microfarad capacitor, a 45. Of course, they're Chinese. There's the defrost control board, thermostat wire connections. And I put the splice down inside of here so I can seal it up. I'll make a note of where it's at. Like write it right here so people won't be confused, like, you know, I would be coming back. 85.5. So we're good. Installed the new Honeywell Focus Pro 5000. Slip this off, I gotta set it up. Hit these 2 buttons here. We'll go to number 1. What kind of thermostat is it? It's at number 5, 2 heat, 2 cool, or 2 heat, 1 cool with auxiliary heat. Go next. Changeover valve energizes and heating on this one, so we're going to go to 1. And 1. A lot of these I just keep them where they're at. Got these cycle rates, so I'll go through these. Yada yada. Yada yada. 12. Manual auto changer. We'll leave it on manual changeover so no one gets confused. 14 is going to be, I think it's Fahrenheit or Celsius. Leave that there. 15, that's our compressor off time. We'll take it down to 4. This is a piston. Yeah, like it matters. 26. Comfort or economy on the auxiliary heat. We'll go with economy. Maximum set temperature, we'll make it 78. Minimum set temperature, 65. Down. I took this trap out that was going up to here and re-ran it out to the front. This is where our float switch will be whenever I pick it up tomorrow. It's running on heat. Still getting a good amount of air through both grills. Probably good we have 2 grills. So the outdoor unit is still off. I'm gonna go out and check on it and insulate this line, and we'll get down to business out there. In the sunroom. Oh my gosh. About to cut out this 10x6 boot opening. I'll put the boot in from the attic and we can have some air out in here in the sunroom. I have my box of flex here connected to the boot, 10x6. I had the plastic frame put on old school. I don't use a frame tool. I have a old school method. So I got to take it up into the attic, put it over there near that hole. Since it's a wood ceiling, I should be able to fasten it from the inside. Boot pulled over to the hole. I'm going to go ahead and connect things up in the attic real quick, and then I'll come and put the grill on after I start the system back up. See what kind of airflow we have while I'm up there. Into the trunk as it goes by, and then it runs up off into the distance. It was fun going back there. I'm glad I've lost 20 pounds, because otherwise I think I would have died back there. So here we are, all tied in, put a duct scoop in it just to get some extra air over there. We'll see how it does when I turn the blower register in. Got airflow coming through, it's good. I am heading down to test the system out. We'll get our stuff out and run our tests. I have my new float control right here. It's going to come in up here on the top and go into our junction box, split our reds apart. So we're going to be protected against flood. Back up and on the P-trap is what I'm basically protecting against. Checking my voltage. I'm going to check my amperage here in the little panel. The SC660 doesn't really fit that well up in the air handler panel, so I can't check it there. I also have the SDP2 on the return and a supply in the restroom to get our temperature split. I did find a way to make it work. It would be a little bit better with 2 separate probes, but for the time being this will work. Turn this thing on, and then in a minute we're going to sync it up to my 270 over 96, 11 degrees or 12 degrees of subcooling. This is irrelevant to superheat because I have it in heat mode. I'll turn it in cooling once I run it for a while. I'm going to go get the airflow so I can plug that in for the cooling cycle. There's our clamps here, one on the liquid line and one on the suction line for superheat, but in heat mode it's going to be hot gas. So we're going to let it run for a little while, warm up the house. We're taking the measurements off each return wheel, adding them up to get our airflow using the DAFM3. Gives us 30 seconds. 434 on the first run. $9.94. $1,006. So I think 1,000. So we were right on money, really. We got our grill up in the ceiling. You can tell it's warm there. Another grill down there, you can kind of tell. It's kind of interesting to see what you can figure out with this thing. You see our electrical stuff. You can see what the wiring comes in. It's warm. It's not too hot though. It's just comparatively warm. The colors change in comparison to the general scope of temperature on the screen. So you see we're about 80, 90 degrees right there. You can see the suction line, which is hot gas. See it's toasty on the outside of that. Kind of cool though. You can see leaks. Let's look up top. See a little leak right there from the attic. Looks like. Interesting. Up there. You can see where it blows up against the wall. It's kind of cool. See the spray pattern from the air. You can tell where our outlets are in this room too. Very cool. See our lighting in there is causing some heat. Very neat. Very cool stuff. 43 over 112, 12.2 degrees superheat, right around 12 degrees superheat. Our target is 16.5, so we're good there. Airflow is good inside, so it looks like this one's good to go already. Good deal. Looks like we're going to wrap this thing up and head on back to the house and get ready for the next install tomorrow.